Are you feeling exhausted, burnt out, or overwhelmed on your fertility journey? Do you feel like there is way more to your success than the tired, worn out idea that your fertility is only about your physical body and hormones? Well, beautiful mama, you're in the right place. Welcome to Fertile Frequencies Radio, the radio show created for you to empower you on your fertility journey and finally give you a baby. Join me, Lindsay Goodwin, natural reproductive medicine and energetic spiritual fertility expert, as we clear away the doubts, reframe the struggles into fertile wins, and turn what-ifs into big celebrations. Together, we'll unlock the tools to manifest your healthy pregnancy and baby. Fertile Frequencies Radio, your infinite fertile possibilities begins now. Welcome back to Fertile Frequencies on this episode 8. And I am so glad that you are here joining me again. We are going to talk about some of my biggest pet peeves as someone working in the fertility and reproductive medicine world for nearly 2 decades. I have some top 5 fertility pet peeves in the industry, and I'm going to talk about those as well as some myths. And so there is so much abundance of misinformation, disempowering advice, and ingrained societal beliefs that often turn this experience into an uphill battle that can often lead to a lot of extra BS that you really just don't need. So I often tell people, and part of the reason why I created this podcast is really being able to give you the opportunity to have direct wisdom and knowledge on your fertility journey and share what I know in the almost 2 decades that I've been treating for my fertility clients, and really what I have learned and what I have seen in the industry, and also what's been missing, and really how to help you to be able to manifest your baby into your life and also heal in the process. I'm all about empowering, and as you know, as a listener, or this might be your first time listening to Fertile Frequencies and getting to know me, that I'm all about empowering you with wisdom for your entire journey, as well as having you know that everything you need is really within you. So it's all about really helping you so that you can have direct information and that wisdom, like I'd stated. And probably, to be honest with you, I think probably most of you would actually agree, you really don't have the energy to either. So that is one thing that I have found over the years in the world of fertility is there's so much information, and much of it is misinformation. Of course, there's great information as well. There's great treatment options, but there also is just an overabundance of information. And including what I've seen so much of is you might be someone that doesn't even really understand what your doctor is referencing. So it's also, you're trying to Google, what does that say in my test results? What is this test that they want to run? And so it just can be so draining with everything that goes into this. This episode today is going to really challenge 5 of my biggest pet peeves and some of the myths about fertility in the fertility world. And so definitely here to empower you. And by the end of this episode, my goal is for you to feel equipped with these practical insights and tangible examples to help you cultivate the fertile energy and mindset needed to manifest the baby that you absolutely dream of and know is meant for you. And let me tell you, if you desire to have a baby, it's meant for you. You're going to hear me say that all the time because I know that when we desire something, it is meant for us. It's just really about figuring out what needs to be unlocked within us and our energy. Our mindset is a huge part of that. And I'm going to talk about that briefly in this episode today to be able to manifest what it is that we really want to have in our experience. So it's not really something that's always talked about. And it's pretty disempowering to think that I heard someone say this recently and it really rang hard with me. It really resonated is that How do we not support our mindset when our brain is actually part of our body? Like, it has a huge impact on how our body is functioning, as well as our hormones and our uterus and ovaries, and of course, in male fertility as well. How in the heck could we possibly think that the mind doesn't have such an incredible power over how our body is functioning? It just absolutely doesn't make any sense to me. So we will talk about that briefly today, and I am going to do a lot more episodes on mindset because that is a huge part of my fertility programs, is really about the mindset, the subconscious mind, and also energetic spiritual fertility. And that includes spirit babies. So if you are someone that is familiar with spirit babies are the idea of the future soul, future baby. And I am a spirit baby medium. And so I incorporate that into my programs. So before we begin, I must say, as always, the disclaimer here is that this is only for educational purposes and is not medical advice or advice for you to stop any treatment you are receiving. Please always consult with a licensed health professional. Now let's begin with my first pet peeve. So number one, your mindset doesn't matter. My gosh, this is such bullshit. It's such BS. It is absolute BS. It's like I was just saying, how can we possibly think that our mindset doesn't have such a huge impact on how our body is functioning, including our fertility? Oh, I must say, this one is an absolute big one for me. I just don't understand. I just don't get it. How this could possibly make any sense to anyone. The idea that your mindset doesn't play a huge role in your fertility is such a myth, and it needs to go. Like, we need to stop thinking like that. We need to stop thinking that our mindset and our thoughts don't have anything to do with what we manifest into our reality. And I recently had someone challenge me on a social media post. I often hear people say, well, if it was that easy, people could just think their way to a baby. Well, I know it sounds crazy that I understand where she's coming from on that perspective, but yeah, you can think your way to anything. Your body is always responding to what the mind is telling it. So that argument, I don't even argue with people because I know what I know and I believe what I believe, and we're all entitled to believe what we believe. But yes, you can think your way to anything. Does that mean that there aren't things that you have to figure out? Maybe you have some hormonal imbalances. Maybe you are someone that needs to go through IVF treatments because of some sort of genetic factor, or you have severe endometriosis, or there could be, I'm not anti-medicine at all. I mean, I'm an integrated provider, so I believe in science, but to think that our mind is not powerful, that we can think our way to anything. Your thoughts are confirmation to the universe, and your thoughts are what create a feeling. Actually, it's the feeling that's first, and then the thoughts happen, and they connect with each other, and then that's how the universe communicates with you. And when I do spiritual readings for fertility and spirit baby readings, that's one of the biggest messages that I receive, is that it's always about what you're thinking about. Do I believe that I deserve this? Am I actually truly ready for a baby? Do I still have unresolved trauma? Am I holding a lot in my womb space? Are my partner and I not in the right place? Maybe our relationship has taken a big toll. Maybe my thyroid is off because I don't have great boundaries. I'm just throwing some things out here. And again, like I stated, this is a medical disclaimer here. This is not necessarily specific to one person. If it resonates with you, it resonates with you. But these are some examples of things that I pick up on. And we don't look at things like that. We're taught in society that our body is the driver of the ship. I got news for you. That is not true. Your body is not the driver of the ship. Your mind is. Your thoughts are, your feelings. Those are how you communicate with the universe. The universe doesn't respond to what you tell it. The universe responds to the radio signal that you're putting out. Like, lack, if you have a lack mentality, mindset. If you feel unworthy, you feel guilt and shame. And those are very valid emotions and feelings. I never want to send the message that I'm not acknowledging that, because absolutely, we need to work through those things and figure out where they actually are stemming from. So whenever I talk about anything like this, I definitely don't ever want to send the message that it's about blaming you, because it's not about blaming you. This is empowerment. This is giving you tools to maybe change your perspective and maybe the way that you were doing it before. So I want to share a story with you of one of my clients, and for privacy's sake, we're going to call her Samantha. And she'd been trying to conceive for over 4 years. Now, Samantha had really low egg quality. She had a very low AMH level. She had high FSH. She really was in a predicament because she really didn't know what else to do. And when she found me like most people do through a podcast, or they randomly come across my website. I have had people find me through AI. I mean, the list goes on and on. The universe is always answering when you ask. It's really about being open to receiving those messages. So anyway, back to Samantha, we'll call her. And she'd been trying, like I said, she tried everything. Well, almost everything. And until she found me. And we were able to get her where she wanted to be. It created a pregnancy for her. Created a healthy pregnancy that she hadn't had success before. And so while we were working together, we didn't talk about medications or medical interventions. And I gotta say, in my programs, I definitely integrate that. But the more people that I see, the more that I awaken to my own life purpose, the more I realize that the foundation of anything in your life boils down to your energy, and your mindset's part of that. So supplements are great, food, interventions, lifestyle, all of this is great. Drinking water that's purified, not from plastic water bottles. Just give you some examples. But we get so caught up in the proof. So much of what is going on around us it's the unseen energy, probably about 98 to 99%. You can't prove that. I mean, is science starting to prove a lot of these energy theories that the New Age movements have been talking about, like aura? Now they call it a biofield. Yes, absolutely. Through quantum physics, we're actually starting to see that some of these new agey things are not really that far off. But there are so many things that we still can't prove. And you have to listen to your internal GPS, which is your intuition. So it's about integration. It's about really using the tools of science, but listening to yourself about what your true needs are. And that's what I do. I not only help you manifest your baby, but I'm also helping you to really strengthen that relationship with yourself so that you can be in the best version of yourself for yourself, to be a mom, but also with your partner as well as other individuals in your life. But it's always most important to have a strong relationship with yourself, because having a strong relationship with yourself will make the rest of the relationships in your life so much more vibrant. So focusing, just like I did with Samantha, really focusing on your mind and energy is the way forward. And her beliefs about her body and her ability to conceive and her worthiness were really affecting her fertility. And through these shifts and subconscious reprogramming that we did, and a unique fertility program that I designed for her, Samantha really began to approach her fertility in a whole new way. She was able to release fear and frustration and really started tapping into gratitude, self-love, and trust. And guess what is so great about this? Only 3 months later of working together, she conceived naturally after years of trying. Years of trying. The power of your mindset is so real, my gorgeous mamas. And it is often the missing link in the world of fertility. I can't say that enough. I know I've already said that a few times in this episode today. And studies have even found that women who engage in mind-body therapies and support their mindset have a 55% or more chance of conceiving a healthy pregnancy and having healthy babies. I'm sure it is way higher than this, but I'm referencing a specific study done at Harvard Medical School. So this is actually taking from their study. But I know that my success rates are much higher than this. But this was their study. So giving you some proof. I know that people like to hear proof, even though I am expressing that you can't always prove everything. But it is nice that when we do have data to show that something actually really is working through science. And so moving on to my second pet peeve. This is such a big one. The word infertility. Please, no more, no more, no more, no more. This word is just the worst, and it's so disempowering. And when we say infertility, we're labeling ourselves as incapable, as broken, and that could be nothing further from the truth. There's nothing wrong with you. You're listening to this because you're curious about what you can do to unlock the power within you, to unlock the doorways to your own unique fertility journey. There's nothing wrong with you. And instead, what if we said something like, I'm on a fertility journey and I'm working harmoniously with my body. Also, I'm going to add in there, what about saying I trust my body? I love my body. I often have my clients write letters to their body. Write letters to your uterus and ovaries. And if it's in a case, I work with men too. If it's in the case of a man, write a letter to your sperm. We have to know that words have energy, and it is the language which shapes our beliefs. Words are like contracts. I'm always saying this. Now, what do I mean by this? When you say something, when something actually is coming out of your mouth, the universe is always listening. And so make sure that what you're talking about is really what you want. So that's why, just bringing this up for reference, like gossiping or reaffirming something that we don't like or that we're upset about. There's nothing wrong with getting things off your chest. But just remember that once you've talked about it, it's time to move on. Or remember, just be proactive. If something is bothering you, find out why it's bothering you. The universe is always bringing things to you to help you grow. It's like a mirror. It's always mirroring back to you what you actually need to see to be able to evolve into the version of yourself that you're asking for. So in this specific case, as someone that's listening to a fertility podcast, you are interested in becoming a mom or a parent. The universe is mirroring back to you what actually needs to happen to be able to manifest that version of you, because it already exists. And so what would be an example of that? Well, like I stated earlier, maybe self-love. Maybe things are challenging because it's about you really learning how to nurture yourself first before you have a baby or you have another baby in your life. That maybe it's a lot. Maybe there needs to be more grounding and loving to you from you. And I brought up the mirror. It's really interesting because I've thought about this a lot recently. Is that mirrors are portals. And so when you stand in front of the mirror, make sure that you're talking to yourself in a positive way. Because the universe and your higher self, which you are the universe, is always listening. So if you're talking to yourself in the mirror, it's a portal, and so it's manifesting. So if you're saying mean things to yourself, like or just thinking them, like, gosh, body, why can't you work? Well, your body's listening to that. Or you could be someone that has body shaming stuff around the way that your appearance is. Maybe, I've had several clients over the years that are afraid to gain weight when they're pregnant. They have body image issues. So that might be creating infertility. I said the word, but creating fertility obstacles for you or for someone that you know. So all this is very powerful, and this all leads into your energy and mindset. And so, like I stated, our bodies and, of course, ovaries and the uterus and the endocrine system, which regulates your hormones, is always listening. You have to know that your body is the messenger from the soul. Let your soul, your higher self, your intuition, whatever resonates with you, spirit, I don't care, your higher mind, let it drive your journey, not your body driving the journey. Trusting that you have control. Does it take a little bit to break down some of these barriers? Yes. This is where you have to be so patient, and this is actually where a lot of people give up. And just manifesting in general. And health is absolutely manifestation. Improving your health, I should say, is a manifestation. Babies are manifestations. Everything in your experience is manifesting into a physical reality. It starts as energy first. This is, again, why your thoughts are so powerful. So I remember very early on in my fertility career treating clients, I've treated hundreds of clients over the years, that I began redefining the word infertility for my clients who were experiencing these fertility challenges. This word has never sat well with me, as it makes you feel like something is wrong with you. Like I'd stated, I do my absolute best not to use it because you are not broken. It is just about finding what needs to be awakened within you for your personal fertility journey. I can't stress that enough. No one else has the same journey, so we cannot compare our lives to others. And we have to remember that any treatment that you're doing, any program that you're doing, it's about treating the entire you. It's not just about treating your physical body. It's about treating your physical body, your mindset, your energy, your spirit. We have to treat all of you, the whole you. You're not just a physical body. In fact, your physical body isn't even yours to begin with. It belongs to this earth. Who you truly are is the energy. It's the inspiration. It's your personality, your true personality, not your trained personality. And we can talk a lot more about that because there's a lot I can talk about that. But don't want to digress. Let's stay on topic. So one of my fantastic listeners once shared her story with me, and she said that by simply changing the way she thought about her menstrual cycle, she no longer was seeing it as yet another failed month, but instead as her body's natural rhythm. And when she thought about it differently like this, she found a new level of empowerment. Your words so matter. I guess I also want to say that your thoughts matter. Your perspectives matter. You know, we can think about that things can feel very different to us in our body based on the perspective of something, based on the energy. So if you're having a lower frequency energy, like you're thinking pessimistically, which happens, then you are going to feel different. You might have more neck pain. You might have more shoulder tightness. You might feel more exhausted. And maybe this might not be instant. It could be if you've had a couple of days of being pessimistic that you might notice that you might not be feeling well. But if you flip your vibration, your thoughts to something that's more positive, like gratitude as very powerful, of that, wow, I'm really grateful for my body. I love my body. I'm so grateful that I have a wonderful partner. I'm so grateful that I have grown so much. Whatever it is, whatever resonates with you, find something. And that will shift your mood like crazy, which elevates your frequency. Now, I will say that is it normal to have your frequency fluctuate? Yeah, absolutely. We're human. We have a multitude of levels of emotion. In fact, being a human is one of the most difficult jobs that you could actually sign up for. And there are souls waiting in line to actually have the opportunity to have a physical body. It's very much an honor and gift to be having these physical experiences. So even that uplifts my mood when I might have a mood where I'm feeling a little down. I always remember that there's always something that I can be grateful for. And probably the most valuable asset that you have, at least for now in this physical experience, is your health and your body. So being grateful and talking to your body in a way of reminding your body how powerful she or he is and how much you appreciate their service. So again, your words matter and can absolutely change the language that you use. If you change the language that you use and the perspectives, and you will see immediate changes in your reality. It's crazy. I've done it over and over and over again. And I will say, this journey never really truly gets easier. It just appears to be easier because you react to things differently. You don't even react. You're actually responding differently. You're not getting triggered as much, or maybe not at all. I feel that I was just talking to a client earlier about this, that today on a session, that we often feel that something is wrong with us when we're kind of more neutral. There's nothing wrong with you. It's actually that you're evolving and you're not being triggered as much. You know how to regulate your central nervous system. And this comes through healing and transformation, transformational journeys. How do we heal? Well, the universe gives us opportunities to actually heal, including a fertility journey. A fertility journey brings out the real you. And sometimes we need certain things. I'm not saying you necessarily have asked for it, but there's something that you need in that. And there's very few cases where people absolutely cannot have children. And I will say this, I'll talk so much about this, that over the years, I have had so many people that maybe used egg donation or sperm donation, or they adopted, or embryo donation. And those children come out looking like them because it's about the soul's energy. It's about the energy. The physical DNA is only part of this. So if a baby is meant to be with you, they will find a way to you. So being open and receptive to allowing the universe and our spirit babies to come into our life in the way that is meant for us, and very important to remember, the way that is meant for them, because everyone has a journey that is very specific to their own soul blueprint. So my next pet peeve is, and this is a complete myth, please, 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 if you're someone that believes this, absolutely know that this is not true. You're having your period, so you must be ovulating. This one really frustrates me, and I see it all the time. You know, with so much social media now, there are so many people on there that are giving misinformation. And I've seen this so many times where people will state this, and it's not true. If you are not ovulating, you are not going to be able to get pregnant. And if you are having your period, does not necessarily mean that you are ovulating. If you are ovulating, there could also be that you're not ovulating every month. So this is where diagnostic testing is really important, as well as cycle charting and BBT charting, which is basal body temperature. And we really only can know if we truly are ovulating through deeper investigation. And this is where integrative medicine is very powerful. And I do believe that everybody has a place that you're working with. say you're working with an IVF doctor, you're working with fertility coach, you're working with a naturopathic doctor or functional medicine doctor, you're working with an acupuncturist, an herbalist, whatever it is. Everybody has a place in your journey, and everybody should be integrating together, not trying to say my way is better than this person. Of course, if you see something that doesn't resonate with you, bring it up with your provider. Talk to your providers. If your provider says something to you, they should be open with you about your care. If they want you to ask your other provider about something, have them ask your other provider about something. Or I like to actually connect with other providers because I want my client to have the best results, to have success on their journey. And if I can incorporate with other providers, that's absolutely amazing. I want to do that. But there have been instances where I have had providers that didn't want to communicate and would just do things without asking me. I think that is a level, if someone is doing that, that's just, in my book, not cool. We should be, as providers, on the same goal of really being able to provide our clients with a successful outcome. That's what you're hiring us for, right? So communication is really powerful. So definitely working with people that want to be an integrative team versus trying to create more confusion for you, and that they just kind of want to do their own thing and my way is the right way. I never like that attitude. I don't think that's a good attitude to have. And I unfortunately do see a lot of that in the industry. And I'm here to change that too. And I know there's a lot of providers. I have a lot of friends, so they're colleagues that are not that way. So there's other people out there that have the same beliefs as me, that we are here as a common goal of to give you results, to have the results of you having a healthy pregnancy. So anyway, I digress a little bit, but again, this podcast is about wisdom. It's about knowledge. It's about equipping you with what you need to have success. And I find that to be really powerful to know. Again, back to the ovulating in your period. Just because you're having a period doesn't mean that your body's ovulating or ovulating regularly, like I said, and understanding that your cycle is unique. So here's the thing. Your body is always communicating with you. It's like your menstrual cycle is like a report card. It's always giving you information about what's going on in your body. And of course, we're talking about ovulation here. So just because you're having a period doesn't necessarily mean you're ovulating. But there are things that you can know about your cycle. Like, is it irregular? Do I have a short luteal phase? Am I having a lot of crampy, clotty, dark blood? There's different things that you can actually see here. Like, for example, in PCOS, it was thought in the beginning to believe, when people start being diagnosed with that if you don't have insulin resistance, or you're not overweight, or you don't have facial hair or a lot of weight around the middle, or thyroid, hypothyroid, then you don't have PCOS. Or also the string of pearls on the ultrasound around the ovaries. But it's just not true. There's so many women that have PCOS that are having regular periods, but they're not ovulating and they don't have any other symptom. So diagnostic testing is very powerful. And I have heard, I'm an acupuncturist, a fertility certified acupuncturist, and I have heard other acupuncturists in the industry state that we don't care about diagnostic testing. I just want to state for the record here that not all acupuncturists believe that. I don't believe that. I know that we practice ancient medicine that is full of a whole ton of wisdom, but I believe in integrative medicine. And I do believe that diagnostics are very powerful. It's powerful to look at somebody's lab results. So I definitely recommend that you get some lab results if you are someone that thinks maybe you're not ovulating, or you have been trying for a long time and you have not conceived, or you have had multiple miscarriages. I definitely recommend that you have somebody who's qualified to be looking at your fertility hormones as well as your partners. So many women I've worked with have no idea about the simple, empowering tool of charting their cycles and noticing these fertile signs. And I just did an absolutely incredible episode with the amazing Nora Deborah on this. And it is episode 7. So it's the one previous to this one. So if you're interested in cycle tracking and the fertility awareness method, I highly recommend that you listen to that episode. Go back and listen to that episode because Nora actually, she knows so much about this and she's such a great resource. And I absolutely love listening to her talk because she's so passionate about what she does and she just is great. So go back and listen to that. And so the truth is, you already know this, but I'm going to say it, that we've been taught to be so disconnected from our bodies. But you've got to reconnect to your body. It's quite the game changer. And what does that really mean? It means that you have to start listening if you're not already listening to your intuition. That's your GPS. And that really is going to be able to help you to have the journey that you're really looking for. And sometimes it doesn't make sense. But we have to listen to how we're being guided. And our body tells us. Because remember, the body is the messenger from the soul. So your intuition is your GPS, which communicates with the body. So as I stated earlier, there's absolutely no need for any shame or guilt here. This is all about curiosity and self-compassion. It's all about me just empowering you. All this information is about empowering you. We've got to start from somewhere. And if you are someone that this is really resonating with and you feel that you just needed this and it's an answer from the universe you've been asking for, or maybe it's the first time you're hearing some of this stuff, we have to start from somewhere. And remembering that you're not a machine. You are an absolute incredible, infinite creator that is infinite energy. Your body's a machine, but you're not a machine. So trust your body's wisdom and explore its rhythms. And so the next pet peeve and myth is number 4. Diet doesn't matter for a healthy pregnancy. Oh, if I had a dollar, a nickel, or a dime every time I heard this. Listen closely to what you put in your body matters. Can I say that again? Listen very closely to what you put in your body matters. I just did a podcast a few episodes ago on the frequency of food and how it relates to fertility. It matters. It matters. It matters. It matters. I don't want you to go around and being obsessed over diet. I think that obsessions are a deeper root of self-worth and not trusting your journey. So I don't ever want my clients or you as a listener to ever feel that you need to be obsessive over anything. If something feels like it's too much, it's creating stress, which creates cortisol, which causes an imbalance in your hormones. That's not helpful for your fertility journey. But you can't drink Diet Coke and eat McDonald's and eat genetically modified foods, as well as not get enough plant-based foods, dark green vegetables, antioxidant fruits, bone broth if you're not vegetarian. Eggs are really powerful as well. Some people don't like them though, and I do meet people where they are. But you have to eat clean food and also warm food. There's something in Chinese medicine called a cold womb. And when you eat a lot of raw foods, it makes your womb cold. And when we have a cold womb, embryos don't like that. So I did talk about that in another podcast that I did about your sacred womb. And there is some information on that. So you can go back to that episode and listen as well. So food isn't just fuel, it's energy. It's a frequency. And I always say food for thought isn't just a metaphor. The way you nourish your body directly impacts your hormones, your cellular health, and yes, absolutely, your fertility. One of my clients struggled to conceive until we dove into her diet. And you probably have heard this, but inflammatory foods are a huge problem. And now, after we removed these foods, she had such great health improvement and her energy shifted. And within 6 months, she was pregnant naturally. And again, this is not about restriction. It's about aligning your diet with what your body needs to thrive. And remember that food is self-love in action. So go back to that episode that I did on food and frequency and fertility and tune in to what I talk about with the frequency of food, because it's very, very powerful to be able to use some of that information or all of it. So the next pet peeve, number 5, is you always need proof for something to work, and science knows everything. Oh my gosh, this is probably my biggest pet peeve. I think I said that for all of these, but this one's a big one too. I probably have more as well. Don't get me wrong, science is incredible, and I've stated this throughout this entire episode, and I always talk about it. I'll state it again. I'm an integrative provider, which means that I believe in the power of integrating science with energy. So IVF, for example, is a miracle of our time. It's so incredible that we have something like that, because there legitimately are, maybe it's you, people who have, for example, genetic sort of issues with their fertility, that they don't have another option for having IVF. Because without it, they would continue to have miscarriage after miscarriage after miscarriage, which is very painful to go through. So that is just one example. But here's the thing. Science does not know everything. If it did, if it was a silver bullet for everything, why does IVF fail for a lot of people? Why do IUIs fail? Why do other fertility treatments like Clomid fail? Because it's not always the answer. And maybe it is the answer, but maybe there's other things that need to be included into the IVF treatment that will help to really bring the success. And that's where, like I was stating earlier, the integration of providers having the same common goal of getting you success. Okay? And not every solution has to have proof for it to be valid. I'll state this, in all the work that I do, if I was a person that always needed proof, I wouldn't have so many miracles manifested. And that includes in working with my fertility clients, also my other clients, because I see other people in other things for their life, like trauma, manifesting businesses, strengthening your relationship, getting over limiting beliefs, helping people connect with their intuition as well as spirit. I do a lot. And so much of it is about the unseen energies. And much of it you can't prove. And if we just talk about just my work, I don't actually even like that word. I call it creating, because when you're creating, because you're an infinite creator, you love what you do, you're not really working. It's powerful to note that also in my own personal experience, with being a born intuitive medium and having a near-death experience where I had an out-of-body experience and I met energy that I call God or source energy or divine. For me, I use the word God, but for you, it might be something different, and that's totally fine. It does not matter. And there's no proof of any of this, but the experiences that I have had, including the near-death experience, I just don't need proof for it. I know what I know. I know what I experienced. I trust my intuition. And it's not only my own experiences, but the many, many hundreds of lives that I have been able to help transform and unlock my clients' power within, so that they are able to live an empowered life and be able to have incredible health and the relationships that they really want in their life, and to just feel in alignment. And yes, families, manifesting babies and families too. And so we cannot be so hung up on the proof and the physical, because you'll get lost in that and you'll miss all the amazingness of actually 98 to 99% of what actually really exists. You don't want to miss that. You want to allow yourself to open yourself to all of the vibrancy of the universe, including the physical proof. So energy and spirituality are very real. And so much of fertility is about surrendering the control of trying to be attached to the outcome of when and how it's going to happen, and trusting in the forces, I'm going to say intuition, beyond what we can measure in a lab. Labs are great. Again, I was talking about diagnostic testing, but it's only a snapshot of what's going on. Your energy is going to significantly impact those lab results if you start really focusing on your mindset and your energy and regulating your central nervous system. It is going to have such a deep impact on those lab results. So for example, if you're someone that has, like I've had this happen quite a few times, someone will have a low egg quality, so AMH, and they work with me for a while, and their mindset learn to regulate their central nervous system, really focusing more on themselves versus being so focused on their fertility journey. And they go back and have their labs tested, and it's completely changed. Like, significant difference. And the doctors are kind of looking at my client like, what did you do? Well, I hired this fertility mindset mastery coach, and she's really been helping me. And of course, they probably about the spirit baby communication, because generally doctors are like, what is that? But they do resonate with the mindset. So they understand that. And they're like, oh, okay, well, whatever you're doing, it's really working. So it's super powerful. And I've got so many stories, and I'll share one with you. I had a client that spent years trying to find evidence for every decision that she made. So the A-type personality, which is so much of society, the perfectionist, right? Always searching for science-based validation. And when she really started practicing self-hypnosis, which we worked on, and I taught her how to do that, and learning to reprogram her subconscious mind through a series of sessions that we did working together, and she was able to release this whole idea that she needed external proof. And her result was mind-blowing. It was actually that she conceived within 12 weeks, not through pure science, but through trust, intuition, and energy alignment, which was her own doing. Did she work with me to be able to uncover that? Yes, absolutely. But I always tell my clients, it's not about me. It's about you. It's about you being open and receptive to yourself. That everything you need is actually within you. It's just about aligning with it. It's about trusting it. It's about letting it open itself up to you. It's never outside of you. There's nothing ever outside of you that truly, that is going to give you the fulfillment. Are there things that can guide you to open it? Like I stated, yes. But you're the one that's actually doing it. You're the one that's feeling it. And so when we get to that point, when we know that, your life shifts and changes in multitude of ways. And you're very fulfilled. And feeling fulfilled is the greatest gift that you could ever have, ever experience. And it really is the greatest wealth. Well, listen, beautiful, it is time for you to take your power back. And fertility is not just a medical issue. It's an energetic, emotional, and spiritual process too. And like I stated, you are an infinite being capable of creating the life you desire, including your baby, bringing your baby into your physical reality. And remember, you don't need permission. This is big. You don't need permission from anyone else. You need permission from yourself. You don't need external proof to believe in yourself or your body's wisdom. You believe in it. And believe, not strong enough word. It's knowing. It's knowing that you don't need permission from the exterior world. It's knowing that you don't need external proof to believe and know in yourself and your body's wisdom. And if you're ready to go deeper, I invite you to check out my VIP fertility programs. I only take on so many people at a time, only a few times a year, just because I really have to give the dedication to my clients that they need. My program is very in-depth and it's very personalized to you, and that is why we have such high success rates. So you can definitely check that out. Get on my wait list, fill out the application, get on my wait list for the next time that I am going to be opening up my book for my next round of clients. I would love to help you on your journey if I can help. I want to thank you for listening today. It is an absolute honor to be a part of your fertility journey. And until next time, keep shining, keep trusting, and keep creating your miracle. So much love. And that's a wrap on this episode of Fertile Frequencies. Remember, your fertility is so much more than just your physical body. It's your energy, mindset, and the whole you. If you're ready to turn those what ifs into, oh my God, it's happening, make sure to hit subscribe and leave us a review, because your vibe deserves to be heard. Until next time, beautiful, keep your frequency high, your heart open, and your spirit ready to receive all the fertile winds coming your way. You've got this, and I've got you. See you next time on Fertile Frequencies Radio.